Hi there, gaming people. We are back with another gaming night. But tonight we're doing something a little different. We're doing a prototype game that's on Kickstarter at the moment called Ember. This is from District 31, and the designer is Stuart Garside. With me demonstrating the game here for you guys tonight is Carla.
Hi.
And my son Alex. And right, so as I said, this was designed by Stuart Garside from District 31. This is on Kickstarter at the moment, and there's a link below, which I will put a link in the show notes below, to the Kickstarter. If you are interested and like what you see here, you can go check it out. Right, so Ember is a fast-playing light card game, sort of on the same level as, say, Machikoro or Biblios, those type of games. So to give you a general idea, on the table in front of us here are a few stacks. Obviously, keeping in mind, people, this is just prototypes. I mean, we got just the basic artwork and the basic idea of how the game works, so we can show you. On the Kickstarter itself, it's updating regularly on what sort of artwork and what else you get with the game. So go check that out there. But in general, you'll have stacks of mythical creatures all laid out like this. And they range from, say, 1 victory point, which is at the top here. So there's 1 victory point, 2 victory point, 3 victory points, and so on. And tells you on the left here what their name is. You've got the artwork of what sort of creature it is. So, for example, this is a wisp. And down here, let's bring it a little closer so you can see. This tells you there, it says cantrip. Come on, zoom in. It says you need 2 of the same wizard. So that's what you need to summon this creature. And then underneath it, it tells you flip. So you go 1-shot ability, draw 1 card. So that's basically what it is. So on your turn, you start with 5 cards. You will draw. You have a draw phase at the beginning, which is you can draw 1. If you're already at your hand limit, you can discard 1 to draw 1. And then I'll come back to what the cards in your hand are like. And then you can summon one of these creatures when you set collecting to get the right conjuring cost, if you like. So these are the cards that you'll have in your hand. These are basically wizards of 4 different elements. So you got like fire, earth, water, and air, or other way around. That's water. This is air. Now you can see these two look very similar because this is obviously still the prototype. So what we've done, you see the little gold leaflet in there. All our air cards have the little gold leaflet in. Because the first time I played this, I made the mistake of thinking they were all the same card, and the game went really, really, really fast. And then this blank one over here, which is obviously still going to get artwork. This is an Archmage, which is basically like a Joker, like a wild card. It gives you different abilities that you can use them for. So on your turn, you're going to have 5 of these cards in your hand. And you're going to try and collect sort of pairs or runs, that sort of thing, like you would in a poker hand. So, for example, like I showed you with the wisp, if you have 2, for example, 2 of these 3 cost wizards, so you could have a water one and an earth one, you ditch them into the out-of-game pile, and then you summon the wisp in front of you. And that is basically worth 1 victory point at the end of the game, even when it's flipped. And then in your turn, or in anyone's turn, you could flip it over to draw a card. And it's as simple as that. Once the draw deck, which is the big stack of cards of all the wizards, runs out, we take the cards from the discard pile, reshuffle them back in again. If there are less than 5 cards in the discard pile, then basically the Ember has run out and we have finished the game. Count up the victory points, and the winner is the one of the most. As simple as that. So what we'll do is we're going to start off the game, then we'll come back to you in a few minutes' time with a gameplay feature. And you can see how the gameplay runs, and then we'll come back to you at the end with our verdict. Anything you want to add, Carl?
No, not really. Just, obviously, as Jason said, bear in mind that the artwork isn't finished, and this isn't a full, the fully finished product. But I don't know how well it shows on screen, but the artwork is pretty impressive. And
they also, the powers range from everything. So, for example, the 12s over here will have really powerful powers, but they're really difficult to get out, which you'll see in the gameplay turn. But also, I mean, I showed you the wisps over there. These are all 3 wisps. But, for example, this one over here, you've got a griffin, a wormling, and a whiteheart. They're different creatures. They all have the same cost, and they all have the same victory points total, but they have different abilities. And you don't have to take the top one. You can take whichever one you want. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we're back for a gameplay turn. We've done a few rotations to get this game rolling. I've got no points so far. Carla's got an anglerfish, which is worth 3 points. And what does it do?
It's got a flip ability, which basically means to use this ability, it's a once-off. You flip the card once it's done. So it's ability called Lure and steal the top card of the discard pile.
Okay, so here we have, this is the draw pile, this is the discard pile, and this is the out of game pile. Now when we conjure something, like when Carla conjured that anglerfish, the card she used, the wizard she used, goes into the out of game pile. That basically, as it says, it's out of the game. But the discard pile will get reshuffled into here once we're ready. Alex, he's in the lead at the moment, as he's got a wisp, a jack-o'-lantern, and what's it? A manta.
Manta. 6 points together.
Yeah, not bad. So 6 to Alex, 3 to Carla, and none to me. This at the moment, this allows him to draw some cards. That one at the end there allows him to draw a card, and this one allows him to steal a card, random card from one player. You better not point that at me. Okay, so it's my turn, as I'm about to go. So the first thing you do on your turn is you can draw from the draw phase. Your hand limit is 5, so if you already have 5 cards, then you have to discard a card to draw. Unless another creature gives you ability to, say for instance, have a higher hand limit. So I just want to show you my hand. This is what I've got. Now I've been trying to collect something, so I've got a bit of a run. So what I'm going to do, this one's the odd one out here, so I'm going to just ditch that. So I'm going to drop that into the discard pile, and then I get to draw a card. Oh, that is not bad at all. Okay, so I can slot that in there. That is the Archmage, by the way. Just in case everyone was wondering. Right, so what I was trying to do was see how I slotted it in. What I was trying to do was cause a run, because I had 7 and 8 there, and I had 5. But I noticed on the last turn, as we went past, Alex used a blue 6, a water 6, and a fire 6 to summon his wisp, which means that blue 6 is out of the game. So I will definitely not be getting that. So I could slot that in there to make that the 6 I need, or I could do something else. For example, I could go, if I had, for example, 4 cards of the same element, so here where this griffin is, so if I got 4 air cards, I could summon one of those creatures, which will be worth 6 points. Or if I can make a run, so for example these ones up here, 4 consecutive cards of the same element, I can get one of the slightly higher ones. So, considering I'm behind the 8 ball at the moment, I am going to summon something. So, I'm going to make 5, 6, 7, and an 8. Actually, is there 5 cards of the same element?
Yes.
These ones over here. You know what? I'm going to go for that, because I've got a 12 as well. So I could have gone for the run of 4, or 4 of the same element, but instead I'm going to go 5 of the same element, because they're all air cards, as indicated by the little gold slip. So I got 5 of the same wizard, which allows me, not 5 of the same wizard, 5 of the same element, allows me to buy one of these cards. So what happens now is they all go into the outer game pile, which means we also know now one of the Archmages have gone out there. When you've done that, you get to draw from the discard part, from the draw deck, how many cards you use. So I used 5 cards in that, so I'll get to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gets to replace my hand that I just used, and then I get to use one of these cards. So the gazing eye, which is basically a beholder, allows me, it has an ongoing ability. Once in each of my turns, I may look at another player's hand. That's quite interesting. The Hippogriff has a flip ability. Name a specific card. If any player has it, they must reveal it to me. And if they do, I can just steal it, discard it, or put it in out of play. Or the Genie. I can draw a card at the start of each of my turns. This card can come from the draw deck or the top of the discard pile. Ooh, that's quite good. But that's a one-shot ability. You know what? I like the Hippogriff. You know what? I'm going to go with the Genie. So there we go. That goes back there. And that ends my turn. So I got 10 points in the bag. I got a once ability. And I got some new-handed cards. Now we go to Alex's turn.
So I am going to...
Do you want to draw or discard anything, Alex?
I'm going to conjure.
Okay, so he's going to skip his draw phase and go straight to conjuring.
I'm going to use a 3 fire, a 7 fire, and a 13 fire.
So he's got 3 of the same element.
I'm going to buy the race.
All right. So, as we said before, that goes into the out of game pile, which you can just pass on to me.
And now that he's purchased all three, or that all three of these are now purchased, that means that we can no longer use the 3 of the same element to take that. That is now no longer an option. So we're either forced to gather 4 of the same element to go to the next one higher, or find a different combination.
And of course, the cards he just used that went to the out of game pile, we no longer have access to those as well. And how many points you got now, Alex? Is that 9?
Yes.
So I'm still in the lead with 1 point. So have you replaced your cards?
10. Replace my cards, yeah.
Okay, so now it goes to Carlo, because that basically ends his turn.
Okay.
Are you going to draw a card, Carlo?
No, but I'm going to use my Anglerfish's Lure ability and steal the top card from the discard pile. So I'll be taking that. And then I'll be playing 1, 2, 3 and an Archmage to fill the 4th slot. So 4 of the same element, which grants me same element.
6 pointer.
A 6 pointer. So I have a choice between a Griffin, which allows me a Sharp Sight, take the top 5 cards of the draw deck, take 1, and then return the remaining cards in any order. A Wormling, which has an ongoing ability, which is Power of Dragons. Whenever you draw a card in your draw phase, you may take it from either the top card from the draw deck or the discard deck, or White Heart, which also has an ongoing Invigorate. It increases my hand size.
I really like that one.
Yes, Jason does. I think I am going to. I think I'm going to take the White Heart.
Yeah, of course. It's awesome.
I'm not sure it is, but
It's
I
got
haven't played with it. So
6 points and it increases your hand size.
So I've used 4 cards. I go to the out of bounds, and I'm going to draw 4 to replace the 4 I've used to conjure. 4. And now, because my hand size is increased, normally I would be allowed 5 cards, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But because I have 6 cards in hand, I'm actually allowed to keep it because of White Heart. So I don't have to discard.
Which is why I like that card so much. Okay, so now it goes back to me. Right, I am gonna ditch a card. So I'm gonna ditch that to draw a card. This is what I've drawn. And then I am gonna conjure. So I've got a 3 Earth Wizard, a 3 Air Wizard, and another Archmage. Archmages have different abilities, by the way. They generally, we always use them as the third, like the Joker style thing, but you can use them to, say for instance, if someone wants to target you with a negative spell, you can ditch it to cancel their spell, or you can ditch it to unflip one of your creatures and that sort of thing. But I have 3 of the same wizard now, and 3 of the same wizard gets me a 5 costing card. So what we have here: the Siren, the Fairy, and the Cockatrice. So I think I'm gonna go with the Fairy. Allows me to unflip one of my lesser creatures in play. So I don't actually have any lesser creatures in play, because a lesser creature, she's cost victory points 5. So basically anything less than a 5 is a lesser creature. So I don't have any, but if I get a Wisp, say for example, which is only a 1 cost creature, I can use its ability twice. So that's really cool. I used 3 cards. Obviously the 3 I used went to the out of game pile. I then draw 3 new from this deck, and they go into my hand. And now I'm on 15 points, and it'll go to Alex's turn. But just before he takes his turn, I just want to show you, there's 5 cards left in this draw deck. So when that runs out, we'll obviously shuffle the discard pile back in here. But if there's only 5 cards left in the discard pile, 5 or less that is, the game ends. So you can see it's a pretty quick game. So let's have another go with Alex. What are you doing, Alex?
I'm going to discard that demon dude.
I thought you were going to say you're going to call him Hellboy.
Don't look like Hellboy.
Don't forget to use some of your abilities, eh? You can get some lots of cards now if you want.
See if you
I'm
can.
gonna use the mantis ability.
You can use creatures at any time. That's a flip ability to draw 2 cards. So there you go. You get 2 new cards. Obviously, you still have to adhere to their hand rules at the end of your turn. So even though Alex has got like 7 cards in hand now, you can use them as he needs be. He'll then draw up again, and then he can discard at the end of his turn. So it gives you more flexibility on what you're trying to create. You can draw another card if you want to, Alex. You can use the Wisp.
Maybe that gives you the extra that you need.
Or you can steal a card from one of us with the
I'm
Jack-o'-lantern.
gonna use the whip.
Alright, the Wisp allows you to draw another card.
Yeesh.
So now you got a ton of cards. Do you need some time to decipher what you're going to do?
Yeah, I need some time.
Okay, we're going to pause it here quickly to give him a chance to think. And then we'll come back to you in a minute. So what we're doing here is Alex has had a little bit of thought, but he's got so many cards in his hand now that he's laid them all out here, so you can give a little thought process into what Alex is thinking. As you can see, he's got them all in his element colours, so he's got the 2 air ones, he's got a couple of water, he's got an archmage, which gives him a little more flexibility, a couple of earth ones, and 1 fire. So what are you thinking, Alex? You've still got another ability left, which you can steal a card from someone. A random card, though.
I could buy maybe the siren or the cockatrice.
Cockatrice. That's because you've got 3 of a kind, don't you? You've got the orange 5, you've got a blue 5, and then you can use the archmage to make up the...
I'm gonna push it and use the jack-o'-lantern. Still, Arcane Eruptus. Steal 1 random card from 1 other player.
Who are you going to steal from?
Well, you said no. And Mommy didn't have an opinion, so I'm gonna go with you.
Alright, well my card's over there. Don't look at them, just take 1 random.
Okay. This is the lucky jackpot.
You might get something good, you never know. Which one are you going for? That one. Alright, what did you get? What did you get?
Oh!
Another 5! That is lucky!
Oh,
You can get 4 of the same wizard now.
That
was a jackpot.
All 4 of the same wizard. The Phoenix is really good. I like the Phoenix. Basically gives you an extra draw in the beginning of your draw phase.
I've never had an 8, so you can come over here and see my opinion. Okay, this is the Phoenix. It's an ongoing ability. I can't read that word there, so I'm just going to read it.
Yeah, just tell the ability.
You may draw a card at the start of each of your turns.
That means you can do 2 draws at the beginning of your turn.
Cool.
And that one you don't have to discard for.
Cancel any lesser creature's flip ability as it begins used. Flip both creatures. Multi-attack. Force all other players to discard 2 cards, their choice, and shuffle them either into the discard pile or draw deck. Draw choice.
So what are you thinking of going for?
The Phoenix is quite good.
I like the Phoenix.
So I'm going to get rid of this one because the half is that's just boring. I'm just going to go by the pictures now.
Fair enough.
The Hydra looks better.
Okay. There's also a big 8-pointer. So remember to take out, you need to take out all the 5s now.
All the 5.
That you used, yeah. So the blue 5, the archmage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Phew, I used that much.
But you're going to get 4 cards
You're gonna
now.
get 4 cards because you've used 4 cards.
Right, so that goes into the outer game pass. So we know a load of 5s have just left now. There's only 1 card left in the draw deck. So as Carla is showing this, she's going to shuffle that.
As I'm getting 4 cards, I guess I could swap all of these.
Well, you can leave them laid out there. Because you can make up a new combination now.
Yes, I could.
Decide what you want to keep. Right, so there's your 1.
That
2,
was also possibly a
3,
game-winning move.
4.
And he's left me with only 4 cards. I'm
That
giving you
has
the evil
put
eye
me
now,
up
Alex.
to-
I'm giving you the evil
So-
eye.
Show the people what you got so
That's
that we can.
17 points I'm on.
It's also worth noting that even though these of the flip abilities have been used, so they
One,
face down,
two,
their points
three,
values
four.
still count.
Yep.
It's not that it's been negated in any way.
1, 2,
They're still there for end of
That's
end
really
of the
good.
game scoring.
So so these all are useless. So I think the earth could come in handy. So I'm gonna keep this one because it looks cooler. It's easier to be
I figured you got another card down at the end there.
Also, he's got 4 of the same elements that he's holding on to.
Okay, so the rest get discarded, which go in there. And now it's Mommy's turn.
Alright.
You can have a draw face.
I am going to have a draw phase.
You're lagging behind now, man.
I am, because I've got white heart. Apparently, when you have this, you're going to lose.
17. I'm beating you.
I'm going to
Only by 2
discard
points.
that.
Yeah, like 2
Draw.
points
Okay,
ahead. How are you gonna get 2 points? Actually, there's quite a lot of ways to beat me. Except for getting this.
In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to discard these 2
which is a pair, or just a...
and grab all this.
Conjure. You
Okay,
conjure.
so there you go. You basically seen the general gist of the rotation, how quickly it goes. We're going to come back to you when the game is finished. Okay, so the game has ended. We've finished the game. It was very soon after our little gameplay turn. And with scores are... How many you got, Carla?
I have 10.
10 points. I have 16, as you can tell from my Genie Fairy Wisp combo. 16, not a bad score. Well, I didn't get to use any of my abilities because I held on too long. But how many points you got, Alex?
26.
26. Wow, there you go. So Alex is the winner, and that is how you play Ember. So I'll show you a little. This is my. Normally I put a little box under people's noses, but I don't have a box for this. So as you can see, it's a really fast, really easy sort of quick play card game where we're just going through the turns, chopping, changing through the cards, and it has a little underlying strategy. What did you guys think? How about you, Carla?
Well, I used to be a Magic player, so I enjoyed the fast pace of a Magic game. You could play, restart, play, restart. Although this doesn't have the element of obviously building your own deck beforehand, you are kind of doing that with these creatures. You're formulating your plan according to what you dished out every turn. And although you sometimes get an element of, oh, wow, this game I haven't had enough of a particular color wizard to get a certain type of combo out. The games are so fast that it's very easy to just, I wouldn't just play this once off. It's short enough that I would probably play 3 consecutive games.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of setup time either.
No, it really doesn't. It's actually pretty easy. The artwork is beautiful, so you can literally just sit here. Anybody that loves fantasy artwork, it depends on what type of person you are, I suppose. But I actually really like the mages, the artwork for the mages, and I really like the creatures. There's a lot of detail in there.
I'm a big fan of mythical creatures. The only thing I can say, Stuart, why is there no Minotaurs?
Yeah. So that's my opinion. I do like the game. I think it plays fast. I think it plays well. I'm very interested in seeing what the other cards are. We don't have all of the mythical creatures. We were given a selection to play with. I'm assuming we still have things like stacks of 3 because as you saw, it limited, the person who got his things out first. Once you've eliminated a stack, it limited what you could use them for. What creatures you could conjure after that. So I think that's quite a good mechanic. It's annoying if you're the one.
Yeah, you just
missing
collected it. How about you, Alex? What do you think?
I like the game. Most games on that shelf, I'd play it, I'd think, and then I'd probably not play if I didn't like it. But if I did like it, I would continue playing it.
And so does that mean you will continue playing this?
Yes, it is very good.
Good. What is it about you to like?
Not much really. What I don't like is that there's not enough cards.
As the games go too quick.
Yeah.
So you would recommend this to other people your age?
Yeah, but I don't think they have that. I don't know.
Yeah, from my perspective as well. I mean, you got to keep in mind what sort of genre of game this is. It's a really light filler game, sort of where you're playing just at the beginning of a game night, or at the end of a game night, or in between a couple of heavier games. It's literally quick. Just stick the cards on the board, have a few rotations of what's going on, and then it's done. You can even do this while someone's making the coffee. Hey, babe.
I do think this will appeal to the gamer that enjoys deck building, or that was into some sort of card game at some point. Certainly anybody that likes fantasy, I think, will enjoy the basics of it. I think its fast pace is actually what is its credit. That's what makes the game good, I think. If it was any longer, I'm not sure it would be as enjoyable, because essentially when things don't go very well for you, actually you just need to get to the end of the game and it's like a reset. You start again.
Yeah, I mean there's a high percentage of luck in here, because it depends on what are the majors you draw.
Absolutely.
And obviously you got the other underlying strategy that you got to think about is when people play cards, like for example if they're sticking out a couple of blue element cards and you've been collecting them to try and form a run, you know that you're not going to get those cards because they are now out of the game. So that what you were holding on to, I almost feel like you almost have to buy something almost at least every second turn, if not every turn, and just keep accumulating points. I mean, look at what Alex did, just by lots of 1s, 2s, 3s, which helped him build up to get that big 8 at the end. Because you saw the amount of cards you can get, more cards obviously with most card games equals points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there you go. I think that gives you a general idea, and I think if you're interested in what's going on here, and if you want to sort of play with your family, I'd encourage you to go check out the Kickstarter, which obviously I'll put the link on, and you can go back Stuart's game. And that's all from us.
Yeah, we will be backing this game. I think I would like a fully fledged copy. So.
Well, also, if you this is only about $12 on Kickstarter, but if you back, I think it's $20. You can get a deck of playing cards with the same sort of artwork on as well. I bet you want that, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
How about you, Alex? You going to play this with your friends when they come around?
Probably not, because they won't understand the game as I do.
Okay then. We'll teach it to them, yeah, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think they won't understand.
Alright, thanks for watching. Say bye, guys.